Hey, what's up guys? Christian here for Kriscoart. Time may or may not be real, but timing is everything in filmmaking. And today we're exploring how to calculate and manage the time that you have on set to tell your story. So I can't stress enough how important it is to not stress yourself mad when shooting and not having a proper plan in place. So you can have great ideas and can be getting beautiful cinematic images, but if you run out of time and you're only able to capture part of the story, or even worse, rush to tell it all, then all your efforts are pretty much lost. Let's jump right in and figure out time and the meaning of existence. Well, maybe not that, but let's start with a shot list. And what this is pretty much just dividing your shots up into a list that can be a little bit more comprehensive when you're planning out your schedule. There are many apps and softwares to do this, such as Shot Lister if you have an iPad or tablet, but personally, due to the way that the short is being filmed, I went with a slightly different route than the standard way of doing it. So my short is entirely shot from a continuous POV perspective, so it can't really follow a standard shot plan. So we organized shots more based on hidden cuts we had planned, as well as blocking of the scene. And this way of doing things can apply to your project if it makes sense. So the way you label things in a shot list is by naming your scene number first, and that's followed by the letter assigned to the shot. So the first shot, for example, of your scene would be 1A, or unicorn #percentage. It's your world, you can do whatever you want. Although the latter might be a little bit more confusing when you are shooting. So if you're doing things the way that society tells you and you run out of letters in the alphabet, then you can just start over and double the letter. So 1AA, 1BB, 1CC, 1DD, etc. So we talked about sectioning the script, and you can do this in other ways that can help you understand just how long everything takes on screen. So to do that, the next step would be to create a line script. And all you need to do is draw a bunch of lines on your script. Well, vertical lines that match the shots that you have in mind. Now, this isn't a must, but I think it's a great way of thinking about the coverage that you need and visually seeing that laid out on top of your script. So that could be extremely useful. So now that we have a clear idea on how your story will unfold, it's time to take some time to time things out, since time is money and going over time on your dime is a crime. So always be fast, like love in the springtime, an escape through a mine, VidCon in Anaheim, or delivery from Amazon Prime. Rhyme aside, let's figure out how to prevent being unorganized, drained, and bitter when shooting like a dehydrated lime. All right, stop that. Read your script at the same pace at which you would see it play out in your head. And to do this, you can set a timer and read the character's dialogue at the same pace that you're imagining, as well as any kind of action or breaks in your story. And this way you can get a real sense of how long your scene is gonna play out. So take into account multiple takes that you might need for a particular shot or a section of your story. And now this can all vary depending on how complex that shot is and how crucial it is to your plot. With all this information, you can then form a schedule so that you can stay on track when completing your short film. So this not only prevents people from getting mad at you for taking longer than expected, but it saves you money from not going over time and, potentially shooting some additional days. So finally, you want to split up your day so that you know when you're going to have a break for a meal, and you're going to put that information along with the time of arrival, the time of wrap, into your call sheet so that everyone in your cast and crew knows exactly what's going on. And I was really lucky to have someone that can be so organized and just is such a professional at all this stuff. It's crazy. I mean, I'm gonna be sharing a lot of the pre-production documents and everything on the website soon, so you can see how detailed and organized she was. And honestly, that is so crucial with productions. I'm a very unorganized person, so this way of doing things completely changed my life. Yeah, the mic wasn't recording the first time, so we're gonna do this again for you guys. Bam. So this is Gloria, and she has been the amazing help that I told you about. What are we talking about? What do you have for us to see?
This is a rap book or production Bible. Ideally on the cover will be a nicer cover saying the title of the film.
Which that does, and it's like your nice original artwork.
Yeah,
look at that.
Very nice. You can see the K logo and my G logo.
This is like your version of the logo.
So we have a small amount of tabs in here. You have more on a bigger production, but this is not that much of a big film. So the first thing that we have on the rap book is the script. Very important. Obviously, the main thing of the production is the script.
Hollow Grounds.
Written by Angelo Truini. The other thing that we have is the crew contact list that I created. Very important that you create a contact list so that you know all your crew's information, email, address, and phone number, position, and entire name. Extremely important also for the credits. Like, instead of going through emails or text messages or asking people, right when you hire people, ask them for the entire info and then create a contact list. And then you have that ready to go. The next thing is the call sheet. Very beautiful call sheet.
Look at that. Oh,
Call
wow.
sheet, hollow grounds, day 101.
That is awesome. Custom logo over there. It's all in the details.
Beautiful. You need to know all the information that goes on the call sheet. You have to put which day is it that you're shooting. For example, this is day 101 because we only needed 1 day of shooting. If it wouldn't been 5 days, you would have put day 1 out of 5. Crew call. When is the crew getting into location? What time? Lunch time, wrap time, when the sun rises, sunset, weather, nearest hospital, extremely important.
Safety.
Location, address, and crew parking. Where is the crew going to park?
So people know what to do, where they're going, what's happening.
Yes. Moving on, locations.
How many people did you have to call for us to eventually be able to shoot there?
I think I talked to 7 people in order to find the owner of this location. Location agreement. This is the very first thing on my location tab. This location agreement, I created it myself. Pretty much it states where are you gonna film, the address, what are you gonna film, what are you responsible of, the payment. If you're paying for location, you have to put it in here. If you're not paying for location, you also have to put it in here. This is an agreement between you, your production, and the owner.
Also, before we move on, this is really bugging me, so I'm just gonna remove this. I took your water away, I'm sorry.
It's okay. We rented a Airbnb house on close to the location that we were filming, that we used it as a PO, meaning production office. We put cast in that home so people can get their makeup done, use the restroom, and so on and so on. And their costumes. Costume designer was in that house as well. I had to create an agreement with the owner of the Airbnb and myself, in the production, pretty much them allowing us to film inside of their home. Very important.
Yeah, make that clear. Don't surprise them with having filmed material in their home or...
Never. Lawsuits.
Lawsuits, yeah. Yes, you don't want that.
Insurance. We have the copy of the certificate of insurance right in here. Next tab, release forms from the actors. They have to sign this. Pretty much a release form is an actor giving you authorization that you can use their image, you can take photos, you can record them, do whatever you want with them. Not necessarily. You also have to put, if your actors are getting paid, you have to put the amount that they're getting paid and that they are aware and agree that that amount is getting paid to them. If they're not getting paid, they're volunteers or friends or whatever, do that as well and specify that they are not getting paid. Our department tab, our makeup artist, she gave us a budget. So this very first page is the budget for all the makeup artist invoices. And in here we have all the supplies, invoices of the supplies for the makeup that we bought, props, receipts, keep all your receipts. Next tab, camera department. So in the camera department, we have a shot list right in here that Chris created. Look at this shot list.
Oh, you actually have that. I thought you didn't have that printed. Nice, look at that.
Ideally, we want a budget as well for camera department. Camera and grip, you will want a budget. Also, an inventory list. Extremely important that you know what equipment you're taking, how many stingers you're using, blah, 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 so on and so on. You have to do that.
You don't want to come back from your shoot and realize that you're missing stuff.
Grip and lighting department. So we're renting a truck receipt, generators. Keep your receipts, keep invoices, keep everything because you never know that you might actually need them. And whenever you're returning equipment, ask for a return receipt and make sure that the rental company checks your equipment in front of you and that they give you the rental receipt. You don't want to leave with a rental receipt, because then later they can say that the stuff wasn't returned to them, and then you'll be in trouble. And that's it for my rap book, the production Bible.
My lens got stuck.
It still needs work though.
Does it?
Yeah.
Looks perfect
Almost
to me.
done.
Create a visual plan for your story. For example, creating a lookbook or a mood book, and these are just pretty much different kinds of references that can help you in terms of communicating what you're trying to see and the style and tone that your piece should have. So this is really, really important when you're trying to express ideas to your DP and to the rest of your team. So I definitely think that in order to have a cohesive style to your project, you should definitely take these steps. So let's start by creating a mood book. How do you actually do it? Well, this is actually the easiest step. It's quite relaxing. You could just browse the internet. You can look at your favorite films and grab some screen grabs of different scenes that you like in terms of tone and style and colors, and you can kind of start forming a bit of a catalog that you can present to really express what you are seeing in your head. From there, it's a great way to really establish what kind of colors are going to be prevalent in your story. So you can form a color palette for specific scenes or a color palette for your overall short, and that immediately just gives character and a specific style to your story. Another big part of planning is creating some lighting plots, because essentially it's a plan on where you're going to be placing the lights. And this is huge because you don't want to experiment on set when you have actors and crew waiting for you. Once you arrive, you want to be completely certain about what you're doing, where you're placing everything, and also if you have grips and any kind of other people that are helping you set these things up, they need to know what the plan is, and you definitely don't want to waste any time when it comes to that. And if overlooked, these steps can really hurt a low budget to an independent production, especially because most of us are shooting, like myself right now, on a mirrorless camera, on DSLRs, maybe not even a full frame sensor. So you want to make sure that you're getting the most out of the camera by actually making it feel cinematic through your lighting. So I'm sure you've already heard that the gear that you have is not important, and it's really more about the talent and the creativity that you put behind it. So I'm not going to stress that point too much than I already have, but keep that in mind because a lot of people kind of get hung up on that. So just make sure that you're creating a good plan. I really recommend you check out my cinematic lighting series. It's just a couple of videos, 4 videos I believe, and it'll take you right to creating some nice setups, some 3-point lighting, how to use gels and all that sort of stuff. So that can be a good help if you're doing things yourself and you're trying to plan out the lighting for your scene. And honestly, just the main point of all this is that the more that you're prepared ahead of time, the less issues you will run into, or if you run into those issues, you will at least be more equipped and prepared to handle them. So I hope that you can take this into account into your own production and be a little bit more organized, save a little bit more time and money. Thank you guys again for watching this series. If you are enjoying it, definitely leave some feedback in the comments what you would like to see next, and I will definitely read through all the comments, because so far you guys have been so supportive, and it honestly makes my day when I read through the comments. So I'm glad that you guys are enjoying this series. Definitely share with your friends to just help out the channel, and leave a like if you are learning some new things with these videos. All right guys, thank you so much for watching. My name is Chris for Kriscoart, and I will see you next time.